Hello there, my fine gardening friends. How the devil are you? Welcome to October in the Optimistic Garden, and welcome to what was a beautiful October day here in Nova Scotia. Equally beautiful Nova Scotia. This morning I was playing golf with my young lad and his friend, so that was good fun. This afternoon I am doing various jobs here. It's Thanksgiving. Oh, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. So it's Thanksgiving here in Canada, so we are giving thanks to this wonderful land that's given me my home and my family their home, and giving me a wonderful garden. But I'm here doing a bit of raking, not doing too much raking at this time of month, maybe a few weeks later. But what I thought I would do is give you a few of the sort of jobs that I'm doing here in my garden. You may want to do them in your garden in October. And one of the first jobs is raking of leaves. Now, it's a bit of a divided sort of community on the leaf raking or not raking routine. I have a lot of trees in my garden. As you can see, there are trees all the way around my garden. And by the end of sort of middle of November, the whole place is, dropped all the leaves and covered in leaves. Now, a lot of people nowadays like to leave their leaves on the ground, and it feeds the soil, gives somewhere to live. But I have got a lot of leaves, and if I don't rake them up, it makes a complete mess, and I get a lot of moss here in my garden. I don't want lots of moss in them, on the grass bit of the garden. So I rake mine up, and I make a lot of use of the leaves that I rake up. And I think there is a video up there in the corner that shows you all the things I do with these. But as just a quick interim, I put them away for a year or so, and then after that they sort of break down, and I use them either as a mulch, because they have a nice sort of breakdown to a nice consistency, as you can see there, or I sieve the coarser leaves, and it makes this absolutely beautiful medium for sowing seeds in. So like I said, up there is a sort of more of a in-depth thing of how I do leaves. But one of the big jobs in October is raking leaves, or the previous year's leaves that I've stored away. I sieve them, put them in bags ready for the springtime, store them away ready for my seeds to be sown in the springtime. So that is one of the big jobs I do in October. So things like these climbing beans, and I've also got some tomatoes intertwined in here. They've done their job now for the season. There's no more flowers, and we're probably going to have frost soon, so we might as well tidy these away, cut them up. I've still got a few tomatoes that that are actually ripening, but what I can really do, anything that's sort of got a bit of colour in it, I can take them off, put them in the brown bag on a sunny windowsill, and they will ripen up nicely. These smaller green things now, really, you can make some sort of green tomato, now what's it called, thingy, which I've never made before, but they're not going to redden up now, so may as well take these up. Now, I don't dig these up, I will just cut them off at the roots, and then I'm not disturbing the earth, and the old no dig is good, and we're not, like I said, disturbing the earth and breaking up the little mycorrhizal tunnels and roadways where all the nutrients and communication between the different fungi happens. So we don't have to dig the whole root up, just take it off at the bottom and let the root rot down, and then that goodness will go down into the plant as well. So all of this can all be chopped up and go, if you've got room, in the compost heap. and then that will make good compost for next year. Now, what have I done with them tomatoes that were ripening? I'll be back. I don't want to forget them, do I? So, all of your sort of climbers, any of the veg that's not going to be used now, cut it up and stick it on the compost heap. And this will be nice and tidy, ready for next year. So, if you've got veg and fruit still going, keep picking. Don't forget them now at this last bit where we get that last goodness and real fresh veg before we have to go into the sort of winter time. Like these autumn fruiting raspberries, there is lots and lots of goodness in these beauties. Excuse me, absolutely delicious. Or some lovely fresh lettuce, beautiful. Keep picking it because the frosts will soon come, and even though they don't mind a little bit of frost, we want to keep them in as good conditions as possible so that we can keep them as fresh as long as possible. So keep harvesting the stuff that you're growing. So we've got all our lovely veg that is ready to harvest at the moment, and the berries that we're picking. But what about some of the veg that's not ready to harvest still yet in this sort of late October time? Now I've got these lovely yellow beans here that I planted a bit late, but as you can see in here, lots of beans starting to come now. Another week or so and they will be ready to harvest. But the nights are getting cold. Could be a chance of frost, so providing them with some protection, and then later on things like these carrots behind me, I'm hoping to sort of marshal them all the way to Christmas time. So they need a little bit of protection later on when the frosts start to come and it gets a bit colder. So that protection could be just a bit of fleece. As you can see here, I've just got, you know, some basic bits of plumbing pipe in here, and I've put them in some little brackets on the side of my raised bed, and all I'm going to do got a nice bit of garden fleece here, and every evening I can just roll this over weigh it down either side with a bit of some rocks, etc., and I've got a nice little warm area. It'll just keep the frost off the beans. Or now, when it's not frosty, just keep it that little bit warmer so that the yellow beans won't mind growing so much. So that's good. And then obviously later on, something a bit more sturdy with some polythene and a proper made up, which I'll show. I'll do a video in the next week or so on how to make a sturdier sort of cloche or enclosure to allow you to grow your veg a little bit longer. But either way, a little bit of protection now means you can sort of eke a little bit longer time for your veg to grow. And I've got these yellow beans, these carrots, I've got some beetroot on the grow, and some chard, and over there some pak choy. Thank you very much. I can't remember the name of you who have said it was pak choy, but thank you very much. Some pak choy and kale, etc. So all those may need a little bit of cover to protect them from the frost over the coming months. So traditionally, late October into November is the best time of the year to plant your garlic, and I've got a box here of garlic that I grew last year and I harvested around sort of August time. This is music, so I've got some nice big juicy big ones, and I saved the biggest ones that I grew to grow again this year or into next year. So obviously trying to sort of breed in a nice big bulb like that. And obviously you plant them at this time of year, give them a chance to bed in, you know, into November, and then the frosts come, and what that does, it triggers each one of these little cloves to create a bulb. Otherwise, just create little bulblets, if you know what I mean. Otherwise it would just grow into one big bulb. So October, November, a good time to be planting your garlic. Look at that. It's like someone's been nibbling that in my garage, cheeky little monkeys. But anyway, where was I? Oh yes, so there's a video up there, the complete guide to sort of growing and harvesting garlic, etc. So that gives you everything all the way from sticking them in the ground to the scapes that you get towards the end. You know, that double harvest, you get scapes and the bulbs at the end, and then obviously when to harvest them and all that sort of stuff. So that's up there. So that is garlic. So another type of bulb that we are wanting to plant at this time of year are our daffodils and our tulips, etc., or any sort of spring bulbs. What have we got here then? What is that? Let's have a look. That is a camassia. So obviously camassias, another spring bulb. I've been wanting to grow camassias for a while actually. I've got all sorts in here from my local sort of online nursery, Vessies, here in the Atlantic region. So I've got, what have I got here? More camassias, daffodils, I've got tulips I'm going to plant. So all of those things, tulips, camassias, what else have I got here? Let's have a look. Fritillary, yeah. So the big fritillary, these are the big ones. They're always nice to be grown at this time of year. So lots of different spring flowering bulbs, but obviously especially your daffs and your tulips, etc. And irises, the old little irises that grow. All of those sorts of things. Great time to be planting them now. Gives them a chance to sort of bed themselves in, and then they can spring into life as soon as that, you know, the days are a little bit longer and the sun starts to shine on the frozen ground. So there we go. There's a few things to be planting in October, November. Your garlic bulbs and all your spring flowering bulbs. So my flower garden is looking a bit of a jungle now. So it's about time to start tidying it up and, you know, cutting things back, ready for to get them on the compost heap, ready to sort of tidy it up for the winter time. What I normally do is I leave a lot of the things with seed heads for quite a while, because number one, it's good for the birds, etc., and number two, they'll often in the early sort of winter time look good with the frost, etc. So I like to leave them. But things like the hostas, as soon as frosts come, I'm going to cut them hard back, and any of these sort of things like the sweet peas and, you know, anything that looks really messy, might as well cut it back now, and at least you can get it to start working on the compost heap. Another good sort of job you want to be thinking about really is take a photograph now of the you know, the sort of mature garden, and is that what you want for next year? You know, some sort of idea next year, what did work and what didn't work. Seem to be a bit sort of missing in the middle here, so maybe I need something taller for next year. And there's a few other bits and bobs that I think are good and not good, but taking a couple of photographs now will give you that idea when everything's all down on the ground and you can't remember exactly how it looked. Have a look at that and say, right, what can I move, what can I bring in next spring? So there's a few little jobs in the flower garden. Like I said, I like to leave a lot of the seed heads for the birds, etc., at least for the early part of winter. So this lovely canna and this beautiful one behind me have served me fantastically over the summer, bringing a bit of exoticness to the pool area that I have here, as well as this geranium here down below, which you can't see that well, but there we go. And that's a couple of years old, that geranium. But obviously with the frosts, etc., it's time to bring them in, get them ready for winter, etc. So I'm not going to go into it detail here, but there's a very good video, I must say so myself, up there on the screen at the top there, how to winterize your cannas, or how to get them ready for winter. And with my geranium, etc., I normally just bring it indoors, get rid of any weeds, etc. around it, cut it back a bit, and just keep it frost free over the winter. And then come springtime, I let it grow on a bit, and then I'll take lots of cuttings. And I think there is a video up there on the screen as well, on how to take cuttings from your geranium in spring. But again, things like this, and then there's also your what else have we got here? Dahlias. So the dahlias that I've got there in that pot and all growing in the sort of raised bed behind there, I've got to lift those and get those ready for winter. And that's the same sort of thing as with your cannas, you know, dig them up, dry them off, and then put them in some dry compost covered in a frost-free area, nice and dark, over winter time. So that's it. All of those things, dahlias, gladioli, lift those bulbs out of the garden. You know, if you live in somewhere like in the UK, down in the southwest, where you don't really get much of a frost or any sort of frosty area or frost-free area, then obviously you haven't got to lift them. But here, oof, definitely got to lift them, otherwise it's lights out for your exotic plants. But anyway, there we go. So lift all those about now and get them ready for winter. So don't forget to use up all your lovely basil. Soon the cold weather will be coming and there'll be no more fresh basil, obviously from the supermarket, but that is nothing like a nice bit of fresh basil from the garden. So make sure you use it all up. Lots of chance to make pesto now and then freeze it. Or what I also do is cut all the leaves, take all the leaves off, crush them up, mix them with a little bit of olive oil and put them in ice cubes, you know, the little ice cube makers, and freeze those ice cubes. And then come the, you know, late winter, when you need a bit of fresh basil taste in your dinner, just pop one of the ice cubes out of the freezer and you've got a nice bit of basil taste. There you go, there's my top tip for cooking in the winter. Nice bit of basil. Beautiful. So there we go. There's just a few little jobs to do in October. Keep harvesting all your fruits and veg that you've been growing diligently over the summer. Look after the ones that you've still got going, like beetroot and the carrots, etc., that I've got, hoping to be able to use those on my Christmas dinner. And just start to tidy away things, ready for the sort of winter sleep time. Get all your compost area, all the different compost in there, so it can start working now over the winter time, ready for some really good compost in springtime. But also enjoy the garden, especially here in Nova Scotia with not so many insects now. Enjoy the colours of all the trees, and you know, I get some absolutely stunning colours in here because of the aces, etc. And just enjoy the autumn. It's a long winter and we've got a lot of time to be thinking about our next spring, but enjoy it while we're outside. Job's a good one.